Today is day 3. Today is January 4th, 2026. And I don't really feel like making this video right now, but I'm just kind of getting out of the way. Today's a weird day for me. I got kind of bad sleep last night, and I got really bad sleep the night before that, and woke up just feeling super off, like dramatically low motivation, like anti-motivation or something, like really I don't know, things not wanting to move today in me. So I struggle a little bit with times like these, wanting to did I just change the camera? I hope I didn't just mess that up. I have to use the rear facing camera on this old cell phone that I used to record on, because the front facing one flips the image, and then I have to use a video editor to flip it the other way and wait for it to convert, and it's annoying and I don't like doing it. So now I'm gonna do it this way. Anyway, yeah, not feeling great, and I think I have learned to not rush, not, how do I word that? There I put a lot of encouragement on myself to make progress, and that encouragement looks like a mental conversation that is often trying to convince myself to do certain actions: work out, take a shower, make your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, get in the car, go to the car wash, vacuum your car, wash the car, go online, give people rides, etc. Oftentimes I don't have to do, I don't have to give myself individual commands like those. Usually it's just the very first command takes some effort to follow through on, which is like the first thing I do when I wake up is work out. The first thing I'm supposed to do when I wake up is work out. Well, it's actually drink water. I open my eyes, and then I used to meditate in the morning. Sometimes I'd write. I've went through lots of different morning routines over the last 10 years that I have been practicing intentional, written down morning routines. I've been using morning routines for a very long time now. A full decade. It's pretty crazy. I push myself a lot to make progress and to do things that are productive and that get me closer to my goals. And when I really I love guys like David Goggins, and I implement pieces of his ideology and other people who are similar to him, their ideology, just ideologies involving a lot of self-discipline. But I'm also the kind of person that believes we shouldn't be replicas of each other. So I'm not David Goggins, and I'm not trying to be David Goggins. I don't want to be David Goggins, even though I think he's really cool. I want to be Zachary Kalinowski. So that means that I am going to differ in the way I live my life, even when compared to people. If I made a list, if I tried to make a list of the top 10 people I look up to the most, or who I like allow to influence me the most, or however you want to word that. Um, just because just because I look up to them, admire them, try to emulate certain aspects of them doesn't mean I want to be just like them, because I don't. I have my own dreams, my own goals, my own views, beliefs, perspectives, opinions, etc. And especially with making these videos, though, too, I think, and being a man, like, part of what comes along with that is the culture, however loosely defined that is right now, of doing an activity even when you don't want to, if that activity is important to do, or important and urgent to do. Um, make sure I'm still recording since I can't see the other side of the screen. I don't really have much trouble giving myself permission to take time off. Um, I think what it actually is that goes through my head is when I have to interact with other people, or pseudo interact with other people as I am while making these videos. This path that I'm on toward purchasing land, toward buying land. I didn't say buying land because B's are usually sounds that I stutter on, and I try to avoid them. And that's a tangent I'll not allow myself to go down any further right now, even though I want to. Some people believe it's good to avoid words or sounds that you'll stutter on, but I don't, and I'll leave it at that for right now. I'll touch on it at length another time. Anyway, making videos and stuff like... making these videos about working toward the goal of buying land this year and wanting to be someone. I don't want to be that person, though, actually. I'm trying to word this correctly, and it's proving difficult. Other people are going to watch the video and say, oh, this guy's a loser. He's not, he's not as disciplined as he should be. And I don't think that about myself. Genuinely. I actually don't. What goes through my head is like, great, now I have to make this video and admit that I'm that I'm taking time off from work today, when I actually don't really mind it. I guess it's a desire to hold on a second. Had to head to wait a second, is this still recording? Alright, good. Had to head to a different room. I guess it's a desire to avoid... not even really avoid, it's kind of like I want to prove those people wrong, but I think the best way to prove people wrong is really to just not even care, because I really don't. I think this is more of like a self-discovery or something. This is going to be an interesting journey for me, making these videos, recording what is usually a private process for me when I'm working towards goals. But I think it's going to be really good for me in a lot of different ways. Pretty disappointed. Forgot that the video cuts off automatically at the 10-minute mark. I recorded probably 18 minutes, so that sucks. So anyway, I left off saying like I don't want to record because then other people would be like, you're not doing self-discipline, and then I don't really mind that. And really what it is maybe I want to talk about it to help them get over that part of themselves. I started talking about David Goggins and about like how I think he's really cool. He's one of my people I look up to a lot, and incorporate some amount of his ideology into my life, just about like pretty hardcore self-discipline. But I don't do all of it because I'm not trying to be him. I'm trying to be me. Dang, I talked about like so much other stuff that was just like free flow of conscious whatever. Came out really good. I felt great at the end of the video. Like, dang, that was a good video. Turn the camera around, not recording. Say, damn. But I guess it's better at half. I gotta sit down. You guys are gonna look at what's that called? Bath shower curtain backdrop. Very fancy. Oh, can I use that to not have to hold the phone in my hand? That'd be dope too. You're gonna be on the back of a toilet. You get to be fancy too. Isn't that exciting? It's great. Don't mind the scratching sounds that probably just happened. Might be a little too low, so I can push it back a little bit or something. Oh, that's better. Can't stand in one place for too long. I got uneven hips. I was a dishwasher years ago. That shit sucked. Because you're just twisting, but you're not really walking around a whole lot. So, oof. Painful. Anyway, self-discipline. I feel really comfortable. I think that's what I said after the last part, was that like it's become an intuitional thing for me, because for the last, I'm 34, and when I think I started doing, excuse me, morning routines when I was 22 or 23. I forget what year it was, but that's at least 10 years, or at least 11, whatever. And along with the morning routines, I've done like daily schedules too, and night routine. My entire day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I have a schedule for all of that, including scheduled like chill time, or just time to not be feeling like I'm so rigid. I also have learned to give myself more time for an activity than I know I would need for that activity if I were to do it as efficiently as possible, because it allows me a little bit of wiggle room that makes life a lot easier and more enjoyable. I learned that one just a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, I've been very structured, imposing my own structure. I guess I've had clock in, clock out jobs too. So I mean, incorporating structure that's imposed externally within my larger framework of a structure that I impose upon myself. Impose is a funny word to use for that. I actually like the structure I give myself because I get to choose it, so it doesn't really feel imposed. But anyway, I'm taking today off, and I was hesitant to make this video because I didn't want it to seem like I'm not like working hard or something like that, or like always taking time off, and he shouldn't be. He should be more disciplined. But I've really learned in fluctuating between extremes. That was another thing I talked about in the first recording, is like, if you see not doing enough over here and then doing too much and like burning yourself out until you crash over here, and then right here in the middle is a good balance. I've done those two extremes so much throughout my life in the last 10 years, and I've observed them when they happen. So by that I mean, when I go way over here to the extreme, pushing myself too hard for too long, and then I crash, I'll break out my journal and I'll write, I feel like shit right now. What happened? And I'll try to break it down, and I'll try to work through it, and I'll ask myself just what happened? Question mark. New paragraph. Well, I guess I probably worked too hard. How did that happen? Well, and I just write through it until I kind of get a grasp, at least some idea of why that happened. And then when I'd go the other end of the line, I'm not doing enough, I'd write, hey, why didn't you do anything today or this week or this month or something like that? Like, what happened there? And I try to write that out. Both of those extremes would result in me feeling pretty unhappy, depressed, angry, anxious, whatever. So I don't really think either of those are good or sustainable, really, for most people. Depends on what you want in life, depends on a lot. But so anyway, going through that process, which I think everybody, I suppose, like swings along that line. I don't think most people observe themselves when they swing. They're just kind of like, well, that sucked. Time to just, I don't know, watch a movie or go to sleep or go to work or get groceries or order DoorDash or do whatever. What I did that was different was, like I said, I'd take out my journal and I'd write about it. Really try to understand, why did I do what I did? And and how would I have rather acted? How would I have rather felt? And then I would write out, okay, if that's what I would rather have happen, how can I make that more likely to happen moving forward in my life? And then I try my best to answer that question, and then whatever the answer was, I would implement into my life. And then usually it wouldn't work. Eventually that would break down to, what's the alchemical, like, you're burning away the dross. If that doesn't mean anything to you, ignore it. So anyway, I've done that so many times throughout my life that I don't have to break up the journal as often anymore when I'm like, oh, I'm waking up and I just feel oof today. And I can tell the intensity of the oof just by observing, like, how do I feel? What's going through my mind? What does my body feel like? What's going through my mind? What are my emotions like? And it's a much faster process now. And when processes happen very quickly, we tend to call that intuition. So I'm just going to use that word for it. Yeah, I've developed a pretty good intuitive way of just determining whether or not I need time off or not. And so yeah, today I'm taking time off. This is going to be a really interesting journey for me. Like, I think this is what I was saying at the very, very end of the first recording, is that, like, usually my progress toward goals is a much more private process. So it'll be really interesting for me. I know that this is a goal I want, but even if the goal that I want changes, I've become comfortable with that too. I used to be really uncomfortable with like my goals changing publicly, because it portrayed me to the greater world as someone who says he wants this and he's working toward it, and then he changes his mind, he quits or something like that. But I have moved past that, let's say. My view on that matter is that I would much rather drop things the moment I see that they're not working anymore, and reassess. Like, I'm at step 3, 4, 5 or whatever, and it's not working anymore, so let's go back to step 3. Let's go back to step 2. And sometimes you have to go back to step 1, which is just like, is this even what I want? Or did I think it's what I wanted, but it's actually not, and I need to just reassess what it is I actually want. I had to do that a lot throughout my life. So glad I caught it at a reasonable time. I had to do that a lot throughout my life. I had to reassess what I wanted a lot, and it taught me eventually, eventually I was really grateful that that's how I decided to live my life. I decided to let myself drop things quickly when I noticed, like, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore. A lot of people would say, oh, don't like ignore the way you feel about something. If you decided to accomplish it, then you have to accomplish it for some make-believe reason. There's a lot of reasons. I'm joking. Calm down. Calm down. No, but I'm really grateful that I did that, because when pushed to the extreme, what that ends up looking like is you do something that you don't like for a very long time, and very quickly it can look like your lifetime, meaning you can be 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, and then reflect and say, damn, I did this job or that job that, like, I hated that job, and, like, I kept doing that job for this, that reason, and those reasons might be valid. It's not even to say that they're not. It's to say that sometimes we don't. The real issue that I see is like a blind faith in the idea that we should never quit a goal for basically any reason. I've quit, hundreds of goals, and I'll probably quit hundreds more, and feel really good about it, actually, because to me, what I've learned living life this way is that while my life has been very unstable for a very long time, I needed that instability in a way in order to actually get the real answers when asking myself the question, what do I want? The answers we give ourselves as teenagers often don't translate into adulthood, or as like kids into adulthood. Sometimes they do. There are usually seeds of truth in those desires that we have as kids that then grow and fruit in other directions that we didn't see coming and stuff like that. But if we're too rigid about the way that we live life, that's when we get stuck. And so anyway, I'm very comfortable with quitting, because to me, every time I notice that something I'm doing isn't actually working out in some kind of way, and I zoom out and I question it, sometimes it's just a matter of changing my approach, keeping the activity the same or the goal the same, and then changing my approach slightly. But sometimes you really just have to change the goal itself. Excuse me. I think that's about it. I feel like there's maybe a little more I could say, but I'm kind of tired now, especially after recording that first video that went like perfectly and then realized it wasn't recording. That sucked. So, but I think that I recovered all of it well enough. So yeah, I feel good about sharing this journey with the world at large here. Excited to do it, excited what little things are going to come up because of it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, pretty cool. I think I'm going to let that be all for now. Peace.